Okay, so now we get to the standard form for the equation of an ellipse with center HK. I should make an aside here. The text does talk about this with the center HK. The actual problems in the assignments and on the tests actually all have center at the origin, 0, 0, just to make it a little bit easier. And the reason is because this is considered a first pass at these ellipses and the hyperbolas. And so they wanted to make it a little bit simpler. So they just give you things with center 0. But in case they changed it since last time I looked at it, I'm going to include this center HK. But when I do the hyperbolas, I'll just do the center at the origin. The ellipses are usually considered by students to be simpler or easier than the hyperbolas. So I figured it's not that bad to give you this with the center HK. They look very much like the equation for a circle. And with the circles, they're definitely not all centered at the origin. Okay, so here we have, there's two different types of these things. There's a horizontal major axis, as we saw in the last little video. There's a horizontal axis and a major axis. So this is the equation for a horizontal axis, major axis. And it's just A is bigger than B. So A is the number that's being squared underneath the X, right? And it's bigger than B, so this thing is bigger in the X direction than in the Y direction. Now here, we've got B is bigger than A. So the bigger number is under the Y. So it's been the bigger axis, that is the major axis, is in the Y direction. So it's stretched vertically, right? Its major axis is vertical. And I just colored the purple ones because those are the ones used to find the vertices. I always mark the vertices with purple. So you can see the purple one is bigger than the brown one for the ellipses. The A's and B's are handled differently for a hyperbola, so it's important to keep these things straight. So A is the distance from the center to the ellipse in the X direction always, whether that's the major axis or minor axis. And B is the distance from the center to the ellipse in the Y direction. Right, and so whichever one's bigger, that's got to be, you know, where the major axis is, that's got to be where the vertices are, because vertices is always the endpoints of the major axis, not the minor one. Okay. So the ellipse is a circle when A and B are the same, and then we usually call it R. And what happens is then you would have the first term over R squared, the second term over R squared. You just multiply both sides of the equation by R squared, and you end up with R squared on the right. And that's your equation of your circle, standard form.